Okay, good morning, everyone. Just for the benefit of everybody here, just to let you know that we are live and we are doing this on we're doing this on YouTube. So I'm not the main person today. Neither will you be able to see my face, but it's just to make sure that we all know that we are live on YouTube today. It's being recorded so that others that are not able to join us at this time can still benefit from the teaching of today. So please, yeah, Sister Yemisi, please go ahead and yeah, do your bit.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining in today. Thank you for taking up time on a busy Saturday. Saturdays are always busy and precious for everyone. Thank you for coming to another coffee morning parents meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone. Today it's an interesting one, and we are privileged to have with us Mr. Abraham Okusoya come to talk to us about financial matters. And I'm sure that we are all keen to see how we can do better on money matters. So I'd like to welcome Abraham. But before I also hand over to him to go on, because I'm sure he has a lot to say and we have a lot to ask as well. I also want to introduce to you the founder of the new chosen generation, which is Counselor Yetunde Adeshile. This is the first time I'm having to introduce her that way. We are happy and excited about this new development. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank
Do you
you
want
so
to say
much.
something briefly before we go on?
Just like you, I think I had I introduced myself as counselor for the very first time in a meeting last night. I think the whole of this week, I still was in another planet. I was like, Yetunde is fine. And but most people, then they see me now, they see me and they call me counselor. So yes, as of, well, last week, Friday, I became the counselor for Vange. But prior to becoming counselor for Vange, I've been doing the next chosen generation for as long as I can remember. And I know that NC has been with us all the way. So when the workload gets big, we start sharing. So this is the sharing aspects that we have this morning. So it's an honor to be here this morning. It's our coffee morning, and we normally have a rule. And I think I've broken the rule. So you have to have your coffee in your hand, or your tea, or your drink, because this is ultimately a time of relaxation for you as a parent. So we started it off, you must have a coffee because it's virtual. Normally, I think once the lockdown starts getting eased, we're going to start going to Costa Coffee. So let's see how many parents we can, encourage to show up at Costa Coffee, that we have proper coffee and we have a little chat. It shouldn't take too long. We shouldn't be here for too long, but I don't want to do what Yemisi is here to do. You will hear from me a little bit later on, but I just use this opportunity to say thank you so much for the parents that are here this morning. Please bear in mind, this is being, we are live on YouTube. So this is being recorded and can be shared later on. So we can share the link later on. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask, but please bear in mind that we are live on YouTube. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I hope you've got your coffees like we said earlier on, and there will be question time. So get your questions ready and also listen attentively. There is so much to learn. And like I said to you, we are privileged to have Mr. Abraham on today. He is a giant in the financial industry. So we want to tap off his grace this morning. So I'll just read a bit of his biography and then we will proceed. I believe the others will be joining us as we go along. So Mr. Abraham Okusoya is the founder and the CEO of financial technology company Timeline. After a stint at the Royal Bank of Scotland, Abraham spent nearly a decade running an investment consultancy that counted Aviva, Prudential, AJ Bell. Bear with me. So AJ Bell, transact and other leading financial firms amongst its clients. He holds a master's degree, a chartered financial planner, and a chartered wealth manager, amongst an alphabet soup of other designations. So it is a privilege to have him on, and I would like everyone to welcome him onto this platform as he speaks to us. Thank you very much. Over to you, Abraham. Thank you so much.
Okay, Sister MC, thank you very much for that generous introduction. And Councillor Yetunde, congratulations on your victory, I guess. I remember actually when we used to live in Vange, and on one occasion at least, I saw your flyers, and I was having a conversation with the depot, and I was like, look, somebody who actually looks like us is campaigning to become our councillors. And you didn't win at the time, and you tried a few other times. I think the big lesson I took away just talking to you this morning is, keep at it. If there is something that you want to accomplish, it doesn't happen the first time or the second time or even the third time. Keep going. So you're an inspiration to all of us. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving me a chance to share some thoughts and ideas with you. I think what I want to try and do is to try and keep, if you like, my talking or the talking part of the session as short as possible. If there is anything I get criticized about when I speak, it's the tendency to keep going on and on and on. So I want to try to keep it short and just to give us a few things to think about when we, as we approach our finances. So that's what I want to do, and then hopefully we'll have meaningful amount of time for questioning and conversation around some of these things that we're going to be talking about. One of the great blessings of my life and career is just the ability to see, watch, and advise wealthy people, and to see what they do with money and to learn from what they do with money. And what I realize is that people who are successful with money approach things very, very, very differently than people who are not successful with money. The thing about money is that it permeates every aspect of our lives. And so if you don't, take control of money, it takes control of you. If you treat money as though it's like a secondary thing, people say all these things all the time. They say, oh, money, what's the word? Money doesn't make you happy. Of course, that's true. They say, money is the root of evil. Money is the root of all evils, which is false. That's not what that's not what the truth is. So there is this, I find, sort of this lackadaisical attitude to money on the one hand, or negative attitude to money on the other hand, on the one hand, all in an attempt to minimize its value and its importance in our lives. But I find that a far more healthy attitude to money is to confront the fact that money is important in our lives. money is not the root of all evil. As a matter of fact, money answers all things, and the love of money, of course, is the root of all evils. And to acknowledge that, if you look at, say, relationships, for instance, the single biggest cost of, fights in a relationship is money. Trace it hard enough. Of course, we've all had a very, very stressful period over the last year, with the pandemic and jobs and, impact on businesses and all these things. When you dig deeper and deeper, the role of money in our lives is become even more magnified than it used to be. So, for me, it's important to have a healthy attitude towards money and to say, well, actually, money is important, and therefore give money the respect and the attention that it needs, for us to be in control of it. So that's kind of the high level sort of approach that I would like us to to adopt. So I want to divvy this up into two aspects. So my conversation, I want to talk a little bit about what I call the fundamentals, or the basic things, which is important for all of us in getting control of our money. And then I will talk about what I am sort of putting the category of then the next step, right? Until you've got the basics right, don't worry about the next steps. Until you're in control of the basics of money. I get questions from people all the time about, what should I invest in? Should I invest in cryptocurrency? Should I do this and the other? Of course, I can't make any judgment where they are as far as their finances is concerned. But often I find that many of us haven't got those basics right as far as money is concerned. So I'll start with the basics. Let's talk a little bit about that. So I'll spend about 5 minutes on that, and then I'll spend another 5 minutes or so on the next steps of building wealth. So basics. Okay, so 3 things around basic is that wherever you are regarding your finances, you need these very, very important things, right? So 3 things. The first one is that a picture of where you are. Where are you today as far as your finances is concerned? And to do that, essentially, you get that picture by drawing a simple asset and liability table, right? Simple. I know it sounds very complicated, but actually it's very simple. Asset is what you own. Liabilities are what you owe, right? So, we can do it if you want to do a simple practical exercise is just draw a simple piece of paper, right? A simple piece of paper, draw a line. If I can actually get the pen to work, draw a line between them, assets on one hand, liability on the other. And just list the things that you own, the house, the car. I'll call the car an asset for now, if you own it, right? As opposed to lease it or whatever, what, and put a value on it. What is it worth? The money in the bank account, ISAs, general investment account, all these things that you have, just list them out. And then on the other column, list the liabilities. What do you owe on the house? What's the mortgage, outstanding mortgage on the house? How much do you owe on the car if you owe money on the car? Now, this is very important. Now, when we used to have conversation about it, we used to do this a lot. Actually, I don't do it as often. We used to have conversations with people about this, with my very, very good friend, I think he's on the call, so he might actually help us when we get into this. He knows a lot more about this than I do, Elder Dipo. And, you know, when we used to do this several years ago with people, we go to churches, we have conversations with people about this. And, you know, he used to say that the very first time he did the simple asset and liability thing, that he had a little bit of a depression. Now, not clinical depression, but depression of a different sort. You know, so when you draw that list, you total up all the things you own and you total up all the things you owe. The difference between the two is called net worth, right? Now, financial net worth, it's not your personal net worth, it's not your worth, you know, your value in life as a human being. No, it's just a financial net worth. Now, if that net worth is negative, then we have a problem. Even if it's positive, it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have a problem. But, you know, but we can't move forward meaningfully, you know, until we've sort of gotten that simple picture of where we are. So I will encourage you, you know, at some point, have a sit down and do that. Now, the next important thing on that first sort of foundation is a budget, right? You know, every month I sit down. Now, I don't actually sit down, but every month there is a budget of what's coming in, right? An income, and what's going out. So again, I will encourage you to sit down and have a picture of actually what's coming in, what's going out. And of course, the difference between the two is the instrument that you have to build wealth and to more specifically to improve that net worth picture, right? So there are a couple of apps out there, you know, apps that are taking over our lives when it comes to everything. But, you know, and I look at financial apps, you know, my company actually build, you know, technology, you know, that helps financial advisors manage their clients' investments and financial plans, you know, but the app that I actually quite like, not our own isn't available to people directly because it's meant for financial advisors, but the app I actually like very much, that's available for everyone. It's free, it doesn't cost you any money, and it can help you with this asset and liability statement and indeed this budget. Is something called Open Money. So, you know, if you go to the iTunes, is that what it's called? iStore. What was it called again? I don't know. App Store is what I'm looking for. App Store on iPhone. I don't know what Samsung call their own, and who uses Samsungs anyway. No, I'm joking. You know, but if you go on there, just put in Open Money, you would find the app. If you download the app, what you can actually do, this app is very powerful. What you can actually do is that you can link your bank accounts, right? So you can link your bank accounts and it will pull all your transactions over the last 6 months. Everything so your bank accounts, your credit cards, everything. It will pull it over the last 6 months and it will give you a picture of what's been coming in and what's been going out over the last 6 months. And what's more is that he has these very simple little sliders that you can set a budget for every single category. So for instance, you might say household bills or you know, savings or eating out, all those things. And you can set a budget. So what he would do is that as you're spending things, money, right, it would automatically tag them. Now, if you disagree with the tagging, you can change the tagging into a different category. But the key thing is that it would track your expenses automatically, and it will show you at the end of the month what you're spending on each category. And if there's any money left, what I find is I see that box of what's left, right? Because I don't know, it's a meaningful portion of what's coming in is allocated budget, but it will show me what the surplus is. And then if I go on and spend something that's not already in the budget, it would deduct it from what's left, and I gradually see that number diminish as the months go along. The important point is that it's important to track these things, because what's left at the end of the month is the tool that you have to actually build wealth, to increase that other figure that we talked about, which is the net worth. So there is a simple saying that if your income, if your outgo is bigger than your income, your upkeep is going to be your downfall. Now, it's meant to be a joke, but the idea is that if you are consistently spending more than you make, then we have a problem, in the sense that it's going to be very, very hard to build wealth. And in all my years of talking to and advising, wealthy families about, money, the single biggest tool that people have to build wealth is their income. So I'm going to encourage you, to take on those two very, very important aspects. Now, the last thing I wanted to say on the foundation is, if you are in, I choose my word carefully, but if you're in trouble financially, if you have, debts that you can't manage, and things aren't going well, again, the pandemic is had a very, very big impact on many of our finances, many, many lives.
Oh, where's the embroidery?
It doesn't help to hide it. And, because money also comes with a lot of shame, a lot of, emotional baggages that we carry, right? So what I'm going to say is that if you find yourself in this situation, I beg you, in the name of God, seek help. And I'm going to give 3 or 2 organizations that you can seek help from. And I'm not ashamed to say that a few years ago, we had to turn to this organization. So the first one is an organization called Step Change. They're a debt management charity. So I can't remember exactly how long ago, probably, 7 years ago, maybe longer than that, I don't know, 10 years ago, I find myself, and I don't want to say we, because it's my undoing, not my wife's. This particular one, right? I borrowed so much money, that I couldn't afford it, and then I lost my job. Oh, so it was much longer. So this was financial crisis of 2018. Sorry, 2018, 2008, right? This big global financial crisis. I was working in a bank at the time, and you know what you do? I borrowed so much money, credit cards, all these things, and then I lost my job, right? We had a mortgage, we couldn't, keep things going. And this organization saved my life because, right, so here's the thing. I was working in financial industry. I had financial degrees, all these things, right? Chartered this, chartered that, and the other. Personal finance is more personal than finance, right? Yet it didn't stop me from doing all these stupid things, with money. So my point is that, I ranked onto us. They used to be called consumer credit counseling at the time. I said to them, I can't afford to pay all these debts that I have. I must have, I don't know, 6, 7 different credit cards or whatever, loan, I don't know, personal loans or whatever, and I said to them, I can't afford to pay this. So they took me through this process. I did an income, an expenditure, and they said, well, here's how much you can afford, right? And they went to the banks, to all of the banks, and agreed a payment that I could afford to pay them. Now, that might not be there, so there are other solutions. I mean, there are instances where actually it's so bad that it's not even worth offering them anything. You just let the credit go into default. So, but in my case, actually it did go into default, right? But you know what that allows me to do is that I no longer had to worry constantly about having to keep all those payments that I could no longer afford. So freed me up to think, right? To say, actually, let me get my career and my finances and everything in order. And over the next 2-3 years, things got better financially. I got another job or whatever, actually business started ticking off. And I was in a position to go back to all those lenders. And I said, NatWest, how much do I owe you? They said, £2,500. Well, I will give you £1,500 for you to give me a full and final settlement on this debt. It's over, done for, paid off. And I went through all of those debts, everything cleared. Of course, it's important that if you do this, you don't still go ahead and keep digging and digging. I haven't used a credit card in 7 years. We don't borrow money. We don't do car finance, all these things that take over your life. We just don't. We stay away from those things. So my point is that if you're in trouble, pick up the phone, have a conversation. They will help you. They will come up with a payment plan or a plan to get you out of that situation. I'm conscious of time. And then the other organization is Turn to Us. Turn to Us is a benefit and grant organization. So they'll take you through a list of things. They will take you through a process to find out, are you getting the right sort of benefits that you're entitled to? Are there grants for people and families like yours? There are grants for things like single parents. They even look at things like maybe, with children with very, very unique needs. There might be charities out there that will provide some kind of support. So Turn to Us is a very, very good one to go to. And then the final thing I will say on that front is just find creative way that you can earn money, right? Do you have a spare bedroom that you can let? Of course, be careful who you bring into your home. Can you negotiate a bigger salary, a bigger pay? I have a story to tell about salary negotiation, but I'm not going to tell it because of time. So just find ways to improve your earnings. So those are the basics, right? I'm way out of time. If we have time later on, because I want to allow question and answer, I'll talk about the next steps, which is, well, how do we actually save and invest money and build wealth? Because once you've sorted out the basics, then there is freedom, there is the room to start to invest money and to build that net worth that we talked about. So when they say someone is wealthy, what they're talking about is in their car, the car they drive. Of course, that might be or might not be an indication of wealth. When I say somebody is wealthy or somebody is a millionaire, what I'm saying is that their net worth is over £1 million, right? What they owe versus what they own is over £1 million. So if we have time, I doubt that we would. Then I'll come back to that conversation of, well, how do we actually build wealth and invest and build wealth? But we don't. I'm going to stop, right, and allow room for questions and answers and conversations around this.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. See, I told you at the beginning that we were going to be sitting on the shoulder of a giant today, financial giant, to be able to learn more and have a clearer view of what is happening out there in the financial market and how we can better ourselves. So I won't say too much. I just want to find out if anybody's got questions. If you have questions, just carefully unmute yourself only when you want to speak and ask your questions. We don't have a lot of time, but we will do as much as we can do this morning. And of course, if you need any, further advice, if you get in touch with us, then we can, we'll see how we can help you better in that area. Any questions?
It doesn't have to be questions, by the way, or comments, or if you disagree, right?
Yeah. So for me, thank you so much for that. Sorry to barge in, but I've got the control and I can't help myself sometimes. So hi everyone, this is Yetunde here. I think the story you shared is actually quite a powerful one, and I think some of our parents, especially because we've had the pandemic at the moment and stuff like that. You touched briefly about looking at different sources of income. So some people might have lost their jobs in the current market. So what's the easiest way to make money? Should I say not the easiest way, the best way or the quickest way? Or, I know it's a far-fetched question, but I'm just bearing in mind that some people might have lost their jobs, and that extra income in the home goes a long way. Is how quickly can you make that extra income up? And how bad does the credit rating? I think credit rating is another thing that we need to probably discuss in this topic here. How bad does the credit rating go, and how quickly can we repair that?
That's a very good question, and personally, I don't like credit rating and all this. I don't like credit as the way to solve what is a very, very important problem. I think that the problem I find with worrying about my credit score and my credit rating or credit score, whatever, essentially enables you to borrow money, right? And as I've said, borrowing money is often not the solution to coming out, definitely not the solution of coming out of job, problems with jobs. So actually, first of all, if someone's lost their job or there's only one income left in the family, or I will call that more or less a crisis type situation. And the very first step I would do is to see if I can control this side of the income and expense. So I will focus, first of all, I'll start with the expense side of the equation. So, can I, come to an arrangement that reduce the cost of the credit that I have currently? Because as much as important as you think they are, credit card payments, all these things, personal loan payment, they are not important in this case, in that sort of situation. So I will want to do something about that. Of course, you can start looking at bills and see if you can reduce them. Once you've got that, then we come back to the income side of the equation. And I'm sorry, I'm not a sort of employment type expert, but if you are, if you were sort of, you fall off, the way I think about it is you're riding a horse and you fall off the horse, well, you need to get back up. And so the point is that with, if you've lost the job, a job, thankfully the economy is starting to open up again. Just go back out there. I know your confidence might have been battered and all these things, but you need to get back on the horse, right? Go back out there, dust off your CVs. I'm sure there are people on this call who can help us with, CV preparation and things like that to, help get another job. If you are in a job that isn't paying you as much as you can, then there is conversation to be had about, negotiating a better pay, or frankly, finding a different job. I am very confident about the economy. I know there is a lot of news out there. We've employed, we've employed 3 people in the last month into our business, right? So there are things now starting to come back up. So thankfully, actually, I think the economy is about to rebound in a massive, massive way. So get yourself ready and go out there with confidence. Yes, you're falling off the horse, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Just get yourself back together. Of course, for some people, the answer isn't necessarily to find a job. The answer might be, well, do I need to create, a different route to earning income, setting up a business? There might be short-term things that you can do. I remember, again, when we first started, my wife babysat for Sister Yemisi, and you paid her, and we, even today, in our family, there are days that we wish that somebody would come babysit our children, and we will gladly pay. So my point is that you have to be really, really creative about how you can immediately earn income. Unashamedly, there's nothing to be ashamed of wanting to better your life and your family's lot. And I think that's really, really important.
Thank you so much. There was a question. Somebody was asking on the chat that, would like to know more about salary negotiation. Is there any tip towards that?
Sorry, Ebba's here, so I've pinned her so she can ask the question directly.
I've just really covered the question. Thank you. Yeah, it was just that you mentioned that, and I think generally it's unheard of. Well, I won't say unheard of. For me, I'll speak for myself. Salary negotiation is sort of a thing. It's not spoken about. It's not encouraged. So if you do have any tips to share, that would be very beneficial.
Well, take it for somebody who employs 26 people within the business. Every time we offer someone a salary, it's not whether they have a job, right? Or whether they're coming from another job, it's not the best that we can pay, right? We can often pay more than the first salary that we offer. Another case in point, for me, my wife recently took a job, and she, of course, is she get offered the job, and she said, they said the salary, and she said, yeah, okay, fine, and she came back to me. Now, we don't need extra money, you see what I mean? Like, the extra few grand is going to change our lives. But to me, I was like, so you just took it? Like, you didn't say, oh, and she knows that this employer is desperate to get somebody on very quickly. They've had a few failures, a few people that are employed for the role that didn't quite work out. All of those are ammunitions to use against them. And you guess what? She went to work yesterday. This is interesting. She came back, she found the salary band for a role, and there is a gap of £10,000. You can drive a truck through the gap between the lowest part of the band and the upper part of the band. So the point is that do not take the first salary you get offered. Never, ever. So that's one thing. If you're in a job and you've been in a job for, I don't know, so not 6 months would be too early, for over a year, 18 months, you're in the same job band, pay, go out and find the pay band for your role. It's there in the organization somewhere. Someone in HR has that pay band, and then go back to your track record of your contribution to the business. I've done this over and over again. There's a young chap who came to our business in the last 6 months, 2 years. They've got a 10 grand pay rise because actually they didn't ask, because they made such a huge contribution to the business. So my point is, less so this is less so, of course, we're talking about, private sector, less so in government, right? But my point is that document your contribution to the business, see instances that you went over and above the call of duty to satisfy a customer, to improve the outcome for a colleague, to solve a problem that is outside your job, to what extra time, God knows how many extra time people work that they don't get paid for. And in this age and time that everybody is working from home, you're using your electricity, your internet, your everything. Document those things and go to your boss and have a conversation.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody else is asking a question. Go on. Unmute yourself. Bumi Folari, were you asking a question?
Hi, good afternoon or good morning. Yes, I wanted to ask Abraham a question in terms of investments, and when will it be a good idea to maybe hire like an investment manager or a wealth manager, even though you're not wealthy, but you have a little bit of cash that you want to put towards the investment, whether it's in shares or funds or those sorts of things.
You can always talk. You can always know when wealthy people are asking questions. people who don't have money. People who don't have money don't ask about talking about it to a wealth manager. So the reality is that actually it's very difficult, right? I say very difficult. So most financial advisors, and frankly, any good financial, I hate to say this, don't deal with people generally with less than 200,000 in liquid investable cash. Now many people on this call will have that money, right? So if you take the money sitting in your pension, so this includes pension, ISAs and bank, it doesn't have to be money in the bank.
Okay.
So generally most financial advisors don't deal with, you would find, again, I hate this is arrogant, but you will find some financial advisor who would say, yeah, we'll deal with anyone more than £50,000. The reality is that once you factor in the cost of that professional's time, it's very difficult for you as a consumer to get value out of that relationship. Yeah. And I would say that most people probably don't need a financial advisor with investment. There are other things that you might need a financial advisor for, but with investment, I just say to people, keep it very simple, right? So by that I mean, so what we do, for instance, with our money is that we open investment. Of course, we have pensions and things, but over and above that, we open an investment account with, there are a number of direct consumer proposition out there. I can only say the one I use, which is Vanguard, right? So Vanguard is the second largest investment manager in the world. And they, so you can open, a personal ISA, you can open a SIP, an invest, for a pension account, then you can open junior ISAs and things like that. Now, generally, if you have an employer, it's often better to do the pension contribution through your employer rather than through a third party. But you know, you have a little, you have some money. Have a look at, you know, Vanguard. Hargreaves Lansdown is very,
Hargreaves Lansdown.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good offering, but it's very expensive and it's very confusing. They offer people all these investments that you wouldn't even know where to begin. The thing
Yeah.
with Vanguard is that
Okay.
it's very low cost, and we just pick a fund, right? We pick a globally diversified fund that invests in the best companies in the world, right? You know, so I don't have to figure out whether you know, the money should go into Google or to Facebook or to Apple. They have this index fund. They're
Yeah.
called index funds, and these funds will buy 3,000 companies within that, and it grows, right? And you can do this for as little as £100 a month. I'll give you two examples and I will shut up. When we had our first daughter, she's 9 today, we got given money at our naming ceremony, right? £250, that money is. We put that money into a junior ISA for her, and then we set up a contribution of £100 a month into a stocks and shares fund, right? Every single money. Today, this money, I checked the account before coming to this call. She has enough to pay for first year of university, plus a little bit for second year of university. She's
Wow.
9, right? So my point is that we didn't do anything clever. We weren't buying cryptocurrency. Our twins are going to be, I don't know, they're going to be 3. When they were born, people give us money. I don't know why people give us money, right? You know, but we took the little bit of money, we put it in junior ISA, then we set up a savings of £100 a month for each of them. When I last looked, I don't know, they must have £3,500 or something like that in there each. So my point is that we think that you have to do all these clever, crazy things with your money. The reality is, I haven't advised and spoken to many so our company today, we must manage 250 million of assets for some 800 households. So that tells you that the average asset that an household has with us is around 400,000 liquid asset, right? So that's in addition to their you know, house or whatever they have. My point is that they don't do crazy things with their money. They didn't make their money buying and selling cryptocurrency, right? They did boring, simple stuff like open up an ISA, investing in stocks and shares in the long run, right? For a 10, 15, 20-year period. We don't need to do all these things that complexify our lives.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
Thank you.
I'm not sure we're able to take any more questions because the time is far gone. Really want to thank you, Abraham. Thank you for sharing, you know, all this content with us. We look forward to hearing from you again in another session. You know, we always ask for more. Thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of the coffee meeting today. And we'll just listen to the announcements of the events coming up, and then we'll close. Over to you, Stayitne.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Yemisi and Mr. Abraham. That was so interesting. It's been a long time since I did a financial session. I had sat in a financial session, so it's been an honor to obviously have you here, and so much we learned there. And I hope and pray that other people, the parents that have been part of this coffee morning this morning, have benefited from the stuff that you have shared with us, which I think is absolutely amazing. And it's good to just remind ourselves and keep it in our minds or at the back of our minds. It's very, very important for us to keep on top of our finances and certainly on top of our net worth. Our net worth values, which is also very important. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Hannah Williams is sharing with us, very insightful. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, so we've all learned, well done to the organizers. Okay, so comments are coming through. I'll try not to get distracted with the comments. So coming up very soon, so this coffee morning for parents happens once a month. And it started off during the pandemic when we were spending a lot of time focusing on the young people, but we learned along the lines that actually parents were also struggling with coping with the pandemic. So we just thought it was like a hangout time, just let's connect for 30, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, just talk about ourselves, talk about our children. And then it came to light that actually, as parents too, we need some support, some help. So hence why we're now having topics during our coffee mornings. By planning or by way of going forward, it is likely that this coffee morning will become a live program. So we'll meet in a coffee shop and we'll have a session like this. Everybody will chat. You'll see other people. You'll get to mix with other people. And then it kind of like helps our mental state. Some of us don't have friends. I certainly don't have friends that I socialize with or have coffee with on a regular basis. So it will be lovely to have, coffee and a time out with parents like yourself. So that this coffee morning happens once a month on the third Saturday of every month. We try to aim it to, I think we changed it this month because we didn't have one last month, but it will go by, it's either the second or the third. Sister Yemisi, the third.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third Saturday of every month. I don't think we will do that next month. I think by the following month, it'll be a lot easier to start moving it outside or outdoors or somewhere where we can get together. For the young people, if you have any young children that are not already part of the next chosen generation, we've got the 7 habits of highly successful teenagers. We ran this program last year during the pandemic, and it helped the young people. It was so popular and it helped the young people so much. The last time we have taken comments on board of when we have a wide range of young people coming together. So this time round, the program will be delivered by myself, and Ebun would also be helping out. So we're going to have breakout sessions. So the idea is when we first get together online, everybody will come together and then we'll have breakout sessions to actually focus on the topic for that week. So the breakout sessions will be, I think, age 8 to 12, and then 13. No, I don't know. I can't remember how we did it, but age 8 to 13, and then 14 to 18 will be in one group. And then 8 to 13 will be in one group, so that we can manage the age groups a lot better, and Eben will be joining me for that. And it's possible that we will have other guest speakers that will cover the different topics, just to make it a bit easier to handle the breakout sessions for the different age groups. And that's starting, I believe, on the 7th or Monday. It's going to be every Monday at 5:30 till about 7. And it's going to be, 7 o'clock from 5:30 till 7, and everybody together. But we're going to manage the different age groups by breaking out into breakout sessions. The flyer is ready. I've just got, with the designers, just got some minor things to change on it. And then we can share it out to everybody that's been a partaker of today. Following on from that, on the 24th of July is our annual program, Focus to Achieve. We will also try and run Master Your Etiquette now that everything is calming down. The Focus to Achieve is our annual program. It's for the young people, by the young people, and it's going to be phenomenal this year because we didn't have one last year. So we're pumping out all the energy into this year, and I'll be working on that with Sister Yemisi, not this Sister Yemisi, the other Sister Yemisi, who has been supporting on that front for many years. So it'll be myself and her organizing that on behalf of the next chosen generation. We've also got during half term, the May half term, well, it's May, June, it's first week of June, half term. We've got two or three sports sessions just to keep them entertained during the holiday season. And this time around, we're going to be going outdoors. So it's not going to be on Zoom. We've saved some time so that during half term, there can be some activities going on for the young people. So hopefully your children can be get involved with that. And then of course, in October, when all hands are on deck, everybody that is part of the next chosen generation will be involved, is our annual program for Black History Month. And we normally do like different events during the Black History Month period. And it's no different this year. There's a lot going on, so we hope that you'll be getting involved with that as well. So it's amazing. We're pumping it up. We're trying to give everybody the attention that they need to help us all through this pandemic season. But once again, I want to thank. I think this morning has been amazing turnout. We've had people coming in and out, and we've had about 30 people, I think, connected this morning, but at different times. And of course, it's coffee morning. And we do normally try to take it to 45 minutes, maximum 1 hour. And we are right on top of 1 hour now. So thank you. Well done to everybody who joined us this morning. Mr. Dipo, did you want to say something to us? Lovely one, plenty to do for us. Sure, we will be better off in the coming years as a result. Yes, more grace. Thank you so much. Mr. Dipo, I know that Mr. Abraham mentioned you earlier on. Did you want to say something to us very quickly before, because this is it now. The coffee morning is over. For those of you that didn't have your coffee, you're going to buy us coffee when we go live. Because the rule is you always come with your coffee. That actually includes me this morning because I don't have my coffee with me. So I'm not let off. So Mr. Dipo, it's just you I'm waiting for a response from, if you wanted to say something to us on the topic at all before we go.
Good morning. Mr. Abraham is just been very kind. What I have learned so much. I've got a lot to do from what he has said. And I think it's been very, very worth the while. Thanks so much for putting this platform together. That's the best I can say for now.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you the next time. I'll leave you to Yemisi to quickly round up for us.
So much. I can see my husband here. He's logged in from Nigeria. Thank you for coming.
What name is he logged in under? We must see. Mr. Coyote, there you are. Let's see. Do you want to say hello to us, sir?
Do you want to say
yes, hello.
Keep it short and simple. That's the best one to do. Okay, thank you.
We like hellos from Nigeria. Thank you for the support, sir. Thank you so much.
As a final
over to you, Yemisi.
As a final thought, you've said so much about what we do with the children. So if you've got children around you, up until 25 years, we have them. Young children, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, just send them our way. We will equip them properly. And thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next month. We have another interesting topic and would let you know at the time. So we'll keep it on like this, and we expect to see you every now and again. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hope we get some sunshine. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.